So what I would say is this is a site plan. This is the canal, and this is the bridge. Okay, so the first thing you show is, I don't know what this is. It looks like water. So what you have to figure out is, nobody knows what happened to the canal. So I don't know if that's water. And then the other thing is that if you had over here somewhere a section, so while you guys are showing the 3D model, I can't see the whole thing. I can't see the Pacific end or the west end, but I can't see either the east end or the west end, but I can see most of it. And so you want to make sure that it's clear. So if you show the site and you show the canal, and then you show the excavation, and then there's some parking structure. So I'm saying if there's a parking structure, that's a column. Whoops. So anyway, there's a section that goes with this, because nobody knows how you went from the site to a lake 3 levels below the ground. So you need to make that clear. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Step by step. The other thing is, what's this? Okay, now I know what it is. We all know what it is, but they don't know what it is, or what's this? So what you might want to show first is the elevator core. You might want to explain, I think we talked about this, if it's the elevator core and it's glass, okay, it's a frame and there's a cab that goes up and down. So explain this, okay?
Yeah. Yeah,
so these are things, don't change the design. We're not talking about the design necessarily. We're talking about how you explain it and make it clear. Okay, so it's the site, the regular site. There's a section. There's a 3D model. The 3D model then shows the excavation. Is this supposed to be water?
No, well, we haven't like stuff at first. We just want to show because last time
it doesn't work. I want to know what you're doing, not maybe, possibly. And the color isn't exactly water, but it could be water, on a sort of foggy day. So then make it gray or make it white or something like that. So try to remember this. This is to Eric also, to make sure that you go step by step and it's clear. Okay. Now let's go to the next step.
So this is
okay. So nobody knows why that stuff is. I mean, suppose I said I want this line to be here, or I want this line to be straight.
No, actually,
so we don't know. Like if you said, okay, here's the site, and I'm going to put in a piece which is over here, which is connected to the neighborhood or connected to the street, or we don't know how these things got here. They're just odd shapes.
Actually,
so we need to explain it. And what is this? What happened to the canal? You're keeping that a secret, but a canal is not a secret in this project.
Yeah.
It's not a secret. You need to explain, where is the canal? What happened to it?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know what these shapes really give you, why they're good or bad or important. But if you can explain it, okay, this has some relationship. I don't know. There's a stair you go down, or it's retail or something like that. And what about this? You jump over this, you bridge over this. It's very hard to understand. And it's the least designed piece of the whole project. And so it might be that you start with the towers, the elevators, the towers, the piece on the grade, and then go to the basement, which would show the relationship between the buildings above and the buildings below.
Yeah.
But right now the sequence isn't effective, is not clear.
Yeah. Actually, this piece we cut out is because for the big retail buildings that are cut in the ground. So we just
but wait a minute. But okay, you're saying that. I'm saying show it. So if there's
Yeah.
some retail building in here, whatever it is, okay, so maybe we start with that. Because there's another problem with that, I think, in the structure. You know, again, I don't know where it is, but if this is the arch structure is in here somewhere, right?
Yeah, so it's like this.
Somewhere. So I would say maybe the way to do this thing, you guys have to rethink the sequence. But again, if you have the site, so maybe you do the elevators, maybe you do the arches, then you do the towers, then you do the grade building, and then you work from the top down. You can do that. And maybe that's clear. The arches have to have some foundation. They're not even shown in this drawing. So you have to think about the sequence. I think that's important. Because these pieces, in a way, the others are very intentional. These pieces look a little accidental. It's not that they're bad or good. It's not their relationship to the rest of the building isn't clear. But again, if it belonged to something like this, then you could probably understand it better. So think about that. So you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's try to change that. And then what about this and that? What are those things?
Those things are like the elevator and the stair for the retail.
Okay, so when you show a big brown block, nobody gets it. So I don't know if it's glass and you can see through it in the elevator, but you have to design this and you need to design this. It's an architecture project. You have to design, you got a big piece of brown something. We want to know what it is. That's all.
Yeah. And because like this is like a floor, and between this there are 9 feet.
Okay, so what I'm saying is when you put that, listen, when you put that in the 3D model, put it in the section also. I mean, you could show it like this and then cut it and then go back to this, but you need to show in the section because a lot of people walking here, a lot of people walking here, a lot of people walking here, trying to understand what is the relationship between the sidewalk and the retail and the people walking in Venice and this project. In other words, you're walking in here, or you're walking in here, or you're walking in, you know what I mean? Off the sidewalk. What is the relationship to the street where everybody's walking?
Yeah.
So try to answer those questions, okay? So very specifically. Okay, what else you
got? Should I give you like a section, like pretty quick?
Well, no, just keep going the rest of the presentation that you put up in the review.
Yeah. So for this above, so this like this is like kind of like between both like the floors.
But you're telling me that and you're not showing me that. I need to see the section. You guys got to start down. I need to see this section, this section. So while you're showing this, I need to show, I don't know if all of this white stuff helps anything. I mean, you want to see it's like this. So hold it for a second. It's like this. And this is you walking on the street. And this is a level, 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 and somewhere up here is something else. How do you get down here from the street? You go in, you go down, you go from the sidewalk. We're trying to understand how this thing works, and nobody gets it. This is below grade, it looks like to me. So is this a stair? How do you get to it?
This place for the canal.
I want you to show that. And if this is the garage level, again, if this is supposed to be a garage, those are columns. This is a retaining wall. It's a wall. This is a wall. It keeps the dirt from collapsing. So you have to show the wall. You know what I mean? When you
Yeah.
dig a hole, that's how you do it. You know, you dig a hole, and you build a wall here, and it has a foundation. Okay? And you can support things on that wall. That's the edge of the project. And then you have floors doing various things. And if it's a conventional garage, I think we decided column. So you could hold everything up in the project. And this is one of the things, you could hold everything up on the wall, on the column, on the column, on the column. So when you come in with something like this was part of the criticism of the project. You know, the question is, does this come down to its own foundation? Does that disrupt the garage? And then if you want that big structure, maybe you're hanging these buildings in the air and you don't extend the columns up. So the columns below hold up the below grade and the arch above holds up the stuff above grade. And this level in here, this zone in here is open. It's free. And the arch allows you to do that.
Mhm.
You understand or no?
Yeah. So like if we extend like the kind of like structure of the arches, we don't need like structure like between like the parking lot for
No,
supporting.
that's right. The parking lot can have its own structure. So I'll do it again. These are about 60 feet spans. So this is whatever the hell you got down here, you can hold up on that. Now, what we figured out is you got to build a retaining wall. You got to build a retaining wall. This is below grade. This is a foundation. So what you do is you take the 3D model and then you cut it in the software, which shows the section. That's different than designing the section. In other words, you take the 3D model and then you cut through it and the section is whatever it turns out. But I'm saying you have to manipulate the section. Now, if you do this column and this column, I guess another possibility is you could run the arch up like this, all the way down. The arch has its foundation like this. This structure is here. And then you don't need this column and this column because you use the arch, but it may get in the way of the cars. And then you still hang these floors up in here like this. But this zone in here is open, which is a big advantage. You can open up the whole street. People can walk through. I mean, I want to know if I'm a guy over here and I want to walk through here, there's nowhere to walk. Or if I'm on the big commercial street, I mean, if I could walk to here and walk to here or something, they're pedestrian. This is a big commercial street. You can't go in the site. Now, if you told me this was a sidewalk or this, you know, the white lines, this is possible. You have to design it, but it's possible. Okay, that's a sidewalk. Or that's a sidewalk, you know what I mean? So people can walk in here and get into the building. Okay, what else you got?
I think that's all for this part. I will hand over to Lucas.
Okay, so just